We are unbeaten in our last 10 games. Finally, goals are starting to be scored. And I think it's safe to say at this point, the new tactic's working. Then again, that could all change rather quickly today because Reading are our opposition in the first FA Cup round that we will ever play in of the FA Cup proper. The League One opposition, and not exactly the easiest of teams. And after that, the very small matter of Hartlepool. They were flying high at the top of the table. They have started to struggle. A win against them. Maybe we're back in the promotion chase. That's the plan for today. Yes, folks, how is it going? And happy Friday. Welcome back to Park to Prem. Leave a like if you're excited for this final episode of the week. Like I've already said, we've been in a really good run of form. Just 5 games played since last episode. But given the history that Wanderers have in the FA Cup, it only felt right that today we come back for our first FA Cup proper game, which, as you've already heard, is against Reading. And it is away from home. Reading Stadium is not a tiny stadium, formerly known as the Majeski Stadium. That's still what I'll call it in my heart. They are a team who hopefully will have a good attendance. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of money off them for it. And I say that because, of course, we are currently over our wage budget. And as you can see, just looking at this graph, slowly but surely, month by month, we are starting to lose money. Nothing to worry about too much, though. At this level, teams do just tend to have a big bump of money at the start of the year. Season ticket sales come in, some sponsorship money comes in. You lose money through the rest of the year. But the FA Cup definitely opens up that opportunity to get a nice financial bump. Now, of course, last episode, we reworked our tactical system. We came back, we got a draw against Oldham and a win against Rochdale. Since then, we've been in some good form. The first game we played was against Wingate and Finchley. They are a team down in the depths of non-league football. We should have been beating them convincingly. We very nearly didn't beat them. We very nearly didn't make the FA Cup proper in our first season. That would have been incredibly embarrassing. It was actually a very even game. In the end, an unlikely hero in Liam Trotter got on the score sheet. One of the more experienced players in our team, someone who hasn't really got close to the first team, has been declining quite rapidly, the 36-year-old. But in this game here, he was the hero. After that, full focus on the league resumed, and as you can see, we started things off with 2 rather convincing wins. 4-2 against Wealdstone, 2-0 against Halifax, and then we took on Braintree, who we took on at the very start of the season. Previously, we beat them 3-2. In this game here, a little bit of a late scare, but we did get another really good win. It won't surprise you to hear as well in this game here, Hume, man of the match. This guy's just different gravy, isn't he? I know he scores a lot of penalties for us, 4 penalties scored. He has still scored 7 goals from open play as a regista. This is comfortably my favourite role in Football Manager this year. He fits the billing absolutely superbly. The good news for us is he is contracted through to 2026. The bad news is, if he keeps performing like he is, teams are going to start to notice him, I fear. And most recently, we got a really good result against Altrincham. In this game, I had to rotate things around a little bit. Joe McGlynn had a minor injury, so I'd had to drop him out the team. It meant that Sellers came into the team. This man scored 4 goals in one game. Prior to this game, he'd scored 3 goals in 20. So to score 4 goals in one game was good. It did make me consider starting him against Reading, but I feel like I have to go with McGlynn. Look, if Sellers wants to do this on the regular, amazing. Altrincham aren't the best team in the world. Here's a little look at the updated league table. We are officially at the halfway mark. A couple of other teams have played a game more than us. Worth noting, the game that we're playing today against Hartlepool is that game in hand. So we're going to hope to get a good result there. But we are in a good little position. We are still 8 points behind Sutton and, well, 7 points behind Forest Green. Those 2 teams comfortably at the top of the table. We have to win games like this one against a Hartlepool team. If we're being honest, when you look at their recent form, they've not been that good. If you were wondering about Reading's form in League One, they are currently down in 9th place. That said, they have got a load of games in hand, which really could propel them towards the upper echelons of the league. They are going to be a tough opposition in this first game. I feel like this is the first match where we go in as massive underdogs. Let's hope we can see something magical happen. Now, in terms of team selection, like I mentioned, McGlynn was coming back from injury when we took on our last opposition and won 7-3. He's going to start again today. I know Sellers scored a load of goals, but I just don't have that much faith in him. Also have just realised I can fill up the bench with a few more players. So you know what? We'll add some more players to our ranks here. In terms of the rest of the team, though, it is fairly stable at this point. Page, since he's come back from injury, has looked okay on the whole. Obviously, in our most recent game against Altrincham, he picked up a goal and was very, very impressive. That long-term injury is a little bit of a concern. It did take a little bit of edge off his stamina. If we just look at things here, it did drop off. But the good news is, it is already on a slight recovery. I mean, it was at 10, it's now at 8. For a wing-back, you want them to run a lot, don't you? In terms of the rest of the team, it really does pick itself. Worth noting that Williams at left centre-back is only actually here on loan until the start of January. I kind of need to get that renewed sooner rather than later. And in fact, when you look at our team's form in the last 5 games, this is the first time I feel like when I've done an episode where the column has more green than not. Yes, we are a team in form right now. Going to hope that can carry on into this game here. Very conscious as the away team. We are going to be underdogs. I'm actually going to change our mentality here. We're going to start cautiously. You know, I feel like the aim of the game here against Reading early on is be resilient, make this game difficult for them, look to hit them on the counter later on when maybe they're getting more desperate to get the win. They are lining up in a 4-2-3-1. They've got some very, very good players in their ranks, so we have got to be at our very best today in terms of our team. 5 wins in a row. Obviously, those extra players on the bench are always nice. I want to say I'm feeling optimistic and confident for this game. I can't say that. They're a League One opposition, but I feel like we should be able to give them a good game. Somewhat unsurprising, less than 10 minutes into this game, Reading having a lot more of the ball than us. They've not created a great deal, though, so you know what? Thumbs up so far. Boyce Clark for Reading with a goal kick. Looks to launch it forward. Thorndike nods it down. Savage is there for them. Kamara now has the ball. Is it just me, or is this a bit kit-clashy? Do we go to 2D? Is it an early opportunity for the 2D? Maybe my players are getting confused because the marking there was poor. The 2D massive are loving this. Comment question of the day. What camera angle do you play with? Do you go with the 2D? Are you a 3D sideline person? Do you use the TV camera like me? I feel like 2D, when I first started doing YouTube videos, was the in thing 10 years ago. Now I feel like a hipster using it. But maybe it has some kind of magical powers because since I've changed to 2D, they've done nothing. There's not been a shot on target, and it's almost half-time. And with it all said, that is half-time already. A couple of bookings for us is a bit of a concern. But you know what? On the whole, that's pretty good against League One opposition. We've not really created anything, but we've done enough. Just noticed here, McGlynn is on a booking and not having the best of games. You know what? Sellers got 4 goals last game. He's going to be angry he didn't get a start this game. I'm going to give him the nod here. I am allowed to make 5 subs in the FA Cup. I am looking at the players on bookings thinking, do I want to run that risk? But honestly, with players like Page and Williams, they are a head and shoulders above the alternative defensive options I have on the bench. Okay, this second half, very much starting like the first. Reading, I have to imagine, are going to get more and more frustrated in this game the longer it goes. We are, in this game, as a massive, massive underdog. They are one of the best teams in League One, a well-supported team as well. And whilst it's not pretty, it's not good necessarily if you enjoy attacking football, we are keeping them quiet right now. Also, 2D, there is something quite magical about it, isn't it? The thing I like about 2D is you can really see the shape and movement of the players and roles in the match engine, as Overton has an effort, and then Thorndike's rebound is blocked. That was actually a really good opportunity. We've not created a lot in this game. That was half a chance there. With 20 minutes left, now I do feel like fresh legs are needed in the team. Dowling is going to come in for Chambers. Elsewhere in the team, I am going to bring in Ogre, I think. Johnson is now in the best game at right centre-back. Let's get some fresh legs on at the back. I've already changed things up a little bit here. Overton's been quiet. I need a goal. I have an option here of, do I bring in Hagan or do I bring in Pharrell Williams? Both of them have had opportunities. Neither of them have really taken them. You know what? Charles Hagan, this is your time to shine. Might be mistaken. This might be his live commentary debut. He has a bit of pace about him. Not the Overton levels of pace, it has to be said. But he has legs. He can run. And we need that with our team. The way we like to play, passing it into space, looking for those runners onto the ball, is what we need. Right, there's a set piece here. I'll tell you what, if we could beat Reading, it would actually be an insane result. It's not been a pretty match whatsoever. But there is not a lot of time left here, and we're on the attack. Ogre, Williams! I saw the net move and I thought he'd scored. He's hit the roof of the net. Is it bad? I'm actually starting to believe. There is nothing happening in this. This has been an awful game, but you know what? Sometimes you need these kind of games in Football Manager. Dig deep, defend, late on, maybe there's a chance on the counter-attack. Thorndike, Page, whip it in. Hagan was under it, cleared away. Robinson, back to Hagan, could pull the trigger. And shoots over. 5 minutes of added time. The FA Cup rules around replays change year on year, and I've lost track of where the rules are at right now. This game is at full time. Is that just the... do we get a replay? Do I now do that in the video? Do we play Reading twice today? I mean, it's 0-0. It's awful. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. It's a massive result. Their goalkeeper's got man of the match there. I don't know where our finances were at previously. I mean, I can kind of work it out here. I think we made about £100,000 with that result. And at some point in the future, I've got a replay. I play them in ages. Do I change the script? Do I change the plan for today, or do we do the game against Hartlepool? I feel like I have to do the game against Hartlepool. Should we do 3 matches today? You know what? Before I get to the match against Hartlepool, let's make sure the TV camera is set back up. We're doing 3 matches, I've decided. It's an executive decision. Let me tell you now, I am desperate to beat Reading in that replay. If we beat them, we will play Leyton Orient in the FA Cup. Of course, we are from Leyton. We share a stadium with them as well. Well, we're from Leytonstone. That's not the point. It would be a massive game to play. Before all of that, though, the small matter of Hartlepool. Yes, we are doing the Hartlepool game, and then I'm going to go and play a couple of games against York and Maidenhead and come back for the game against Reading. York City, by the way, up in 3rd. That's not an easy game, but due to the spontaneous nature of today's episode, we're just going off script. Now, in terms of team selection for this game against Hartlepool, I kind of don't want to change the team. I know it wasn't a pretty result against Reading, but defensively, we looked really, really solid. I don't exactly want to compromise that, so the team is remaining unchanged. There were a few players immediately after that FA Cup game that wanted a rest. They're not getting it today. Page with the ball for us on the far side, lays it inside to McGlynn, he plays it forward. Thorndyke making an on-rushing run, has a one-on-one, probably should have scored it. It was a good early chance for us. Could we follow it up with a chance from this corner? It's whipped towards the back post. Spencer Addons is there. He's only gone and found the back of the net. It's the 5th goal of the season for the centre-back. I tell you what, every team needs a non-league battering ram weapon centre-back who's good at set pieces. We've got that man. Hume has picked him out at the back post, and the number 4... well, he's out-jumped 3 men there. I'll tell you what, I was worried going into this game it was going to be another 0-0. After that last game, we needed to see more. We might have another chance here. Page whipping it back post. Robinson's there, the fullback. There was another back post header. Sadly, this one's gone over the bar. Hartlepool bringing the ball out from the back. I can't imagine they are going to go down without swinging here. They've been a team who have won their last 2 games, to be fair to them. Prior to that, though, they had been in a wretched run of form. They'll want to keep the momentum they've built up going, but with us scoring the early goal, they're surely going to have their backs against it as Robinson brings it forward. This man has so many assists this year. He's been such a creative powerhouse. Johnson, Chambers with the underlapping run, the defensive midfielder, back to Robinson. There are options in the middle. He whips it to the back post. Page is arriving late. I don't know if we hit the post or the keeper saved that there. I'm not sure how it's not gone in. I have noticed in this game, Hartlepool are playing a diamond midfield, so I'm just going to instruct our players in transition to distribute it to the flanks rather than the centre-backs. Ordinarily, with this kind of system, distributing it to the centre-backs is a good way to go, especially because not many teams play with 2 strikers, never mind 3, and so they can't man-mark your 3 centre-backs. Because they're playing with a shadow striker, however, you can kind of see how Hartlepool have 3 players playing forward. With their team shape, how narrow they're playing, I think getting the ball into those wider areas, stretching their midfield wide and then looking for the gaps inside in the build-up is the way to go. Anyway, Robinson, I thought for a second was getting out on the ball there. In fact, it's Overton who's ended up picking it up at right wing now. The striker is going to whip it. McGlynn has missed another sitter. He misses one every episode, and it's really starting to annoy me. Corner for us here. It's Hume over it. It's the map post again. Spencer Adams puts his head at the wrong side of the post. He probably should have scored again there. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this half. They've not had a shot on target. We have been dominant in this game as well. Sadly, only the 1 goal to show for it. Gonna tell the players I'm happy though. All in all, really, really good first half against a decent opposition team. We want to keep our unbeaten run going for as long as we can. And I will feel like this is a bit of a test for us. Hartlepool are not a bad little team. Bit annoying, really, that with the replay against Reading, we now have this game against York that we're going to have to gloss over. They're up in 3rd. That's not going to be an easy game. In some ways, if we could get a couple of goals here just like this, maybe I can rotate things a little bit with that next game in mind against York, because that one's not going to be easy. Thorndyke had the ball played inside here, though, and it's just a lovely little goal. We stretch them wide. Their narrow midfield has gaps in it, and Thorndyke from centre attacking mid makes the run. It's a really nice finish. This is really tricky because I want to rotate the team. There are players like Hume that need a rest. Spencer Adams needs a rest, but they are having good games. They are well, some of our more important players. It might be a little bit of a gamble, but I think at this point in the game, I am going to take them off. I'm going to bring in Harlock to play at defensive midfielder. The 22-year-old really is our Swiss Army knife of a player, our James Milner, dare I say. I'm going to bring in Quamina as well and play him at left centre-back. Williams is going to slot into the middle. I know Spencer Addons has a goal. He is a very tired individual. So we're going to give him a rest too. And you know what? Sellers I'm going to bring on for McGlynn. Overton's had an okay game so far. McGlynn has struggled. Sellers got 4 goals in our last league game. We'll probably end up starting against York in all honesty, just as part of the rotation. 25 minutes here for him to come on with not too much pressure on him and hopefully put in a good performance. Of course, if Hartlepool now score 1, there is immediately pressure on him to do well for us. 4 minutes at the end of this game are going to come and hopefully go. This is going to be another clean sheet. A great defensive performance by the team. Was also able to rest a few players. Statistically, when you look at things here, we weren't all that impressive, but having got our noses ahead and then obviously doubling the lead right after half-time, didn't need to change a great deal. Look at the green ratings. Just a good team performance. With that result there, we move up to 3rd. We are 5 points behind Sutton and, dare I say it, we're starting to find our mojo. Another man of the match performance, by the way, for Sammy Robinson and another assist for the right back. I can't sing his praises enough. He has been quality. Now, York we play in 2 days' time, and I know it's 3rd versus 4th, but I feel like the Reading game is just bigger. If we could beat League One opposition and set up a game against our local rivals in Leyton Orient, a team who we share a ground with, it'd be massive. That said, it's going to be a bloody difficult task against Reading. I'm going to go away and play 2 games. We're going to dust ourselves off for the FA Cup. Hopefully I can rotate the team a little bit. Maybe not for the York game. Maybe for the Maidenhead game. Either way, I'll see you in a mo. Hopefully the unbeaten run is still going. Hopefully I'm still smiling and not in pain. Although I am rather stressed about this next one. I'll tell you what, York City, half decent at football. I want to say they battered us. Look, they beat us 2-0. First goals from a throw-in that we don't really deal with across the back post. The next goal, to be fair, their left winger here, Nathaniel George, was just absolutely rapid and then pulled it back nicely. We've lost, in case you didn't realise, in the top corner. Yeah, 2-0 defeat against York. It was an even-ish game, but we never looked like winning. After that, 2 more games I've had to play ahead of this game against Reading. The first, we drew against Maidenhead, and with respect to Maidenhead, they're not very good. We were the better team in this game. Their league position currently is 17th. The fact we've not beaten them is actually shocking. Good news, though, we are going into this game off the back of a win. The game against Reading actually got pushed back a little bit further, but it gave us a chance to get a win here. Leak at left back is back in the team and scoring. I was told by the Hull manager I wasn't playing him enough, so he had to come in. We did then get a late goal through Williams. But yeah, League in the team. He'll be here for a while because at left back, Eden Page has gone and got injured again. Yeah, he's out for up to 2 weeks, the left back. I love this bloke. He needs to stop getting hurt. Yeah, it's a problem. Suddenly our form that was looking really, really good, even after the game against Hartlepool, suddenly doesn't look quite as impressive, does it? That defeat against York is frustrating. We've now lost against them in both meetings in the league. With the recent run of results, you can see here we are now 7 points behind Sutton, who have the game in hand. The good news, I suppose, is we are 12 points in the playoffs. We look in a really, really good position from that point of view. There is basically 7 teams head and shoulders above the rest. I guess the question is, could we close the gap on the teams at the top? In all honesty, as I sit here right now, I don't see a way there it happens. But the good news is we do get to distract ourselves a little bit to end things today. We've got the replay against Reading. I was able to rest the team and rotate the team a little bit, which means going into this game, we should be ready and rested. For this game, we're allowed to have a lot more players on the bench. Joe McGlynn's form has been crap still, so I've dropped him completely. Sellers is going to start this game alongside Overton, whose form, to be fair, hasn't been all that good recently either. I feel like our poor form is down to just a lack of finishing, a lack of chance creation, but against Reading we look good defensively away from home. For this game, I think instead of playing on positive, I'm actually going to choose to play on balanced. In the previous leg we played on cautious. This game, we've got to be a little bit more willing to go forward as the home team. With the exception of the Page injury, though, we are very much at full strength for this game. There are green, happy, smiley faces across most of the starting 11. Let's do this. Let's see if we can cause an upset. There is a kickoff highlight immediately. Should I be excited? Should I be scared? Probably a little bit of column A and B. Spencer Addons with the ball, lays it to Chambers. He's going to lay it wide to Robinson, who's a little isolated out on this right-hand side. Whips it in, though. That is an ambitious ball that Button collects. For a moment, I thought Sellers was going to be lurking under it. Having not played Sellers much as a starter, despite the fact he scored 4 goals against Altrincham, I feel like he might have a point to prove here. And with both him and Overton, we've actually got 2 very pacey players. I feel like there's not many elements of our team where we can say we are better than Reading. When it comes to the pace in our attack, that might be the one edge we have over Reading on paper, and we're going to look to make the most of it. Overton, in a wide area, drifts wide, lays it to Leek, who's back in the team. Already scored 1 goal recently, could pull the trigger, lays it to Sellers, and we score inside the first minute. We're ahead against League One opposition. Remain calm. Talks about that pace advantage we have with the attackers. This was not a counter-attack. We were very much set up for this play. Leek, though, completely uncontested. Reading an absolute shambles. Nice finish, though, by Sellers, justifying starting him today. Going to give the players some early praise. Green, happy, smiley faces along the bottom. You know what? I might not be able to do shouts in FM25. I have to make the most of them while I can use them now. Corner, Kamara. Corners have been an issue for us this year. Can we deal with this one? I don't know if the keeper saved our feet at the post. It's not in the back of the net yet. We still might have to deal with it a little bit. And we get away with it. Taking the goal kick short, now we're looking to build it out from the back. Johnson bringing the ball forward, uncontested, the ball playing defender. He lays it to Robinson, now back with Johnson, who could look to go inside and does look to go inside. Reading are sitting very, very deep here. They are not pressing either. They are, I want to say they're being respectful to us in a weird way. They're not trying to force out issues, and maybe that gives us a chance to create stuff. Robinson crosses it. Overton, Thorndyke. That is a beautiful goal. And I'll tell you what, for players like Overton, who were released by Peterborough, and obviously a League One team, having a chance to prove their worth against the League One team here with a little bit of intelligence like that is really nice. Thorndyke, another goal for him today in this episode. We're 2 up. I am wondering, are Reading, like, rotating their team here? Okay, they are playing like a rotated striker. Centre attacking mid, Chem Campbell. He started 20 games for them in League One. He's quite good. At centre-back, they're playing Tyler Field. He's not good. I'll be honest, based on what I've just checked, this is a rotated Reading team. So as much as I'm getting all happy, clappy, and I'm really buzzing, that does take the shine off it a little bit. But you know what? An FA Cup run is an FA Cup run no matter how you do it. And a 3rd goal here, and I start to believe we're going to be in the 2nd round, taking on our local opposition. That said, the ball is loose. Leek mops it up nicely. Robinson with a bit of space to move into. A 3rd before half-time would be massive. Options potentially in the middle. Chambers is there. He drills it. Thorndyke. Shot blocks. That was very nearly goal number 3. I'm looking through the rest of their team. You know what? Tyler Bindon, he's a competent footballer. Yeah, it feels like it's a mix-up of kind of rotated with youth, but also the odd starter in here for Reading, which means we've got to be up for it. And they've just scored there. As soon as I start to get carried away and utter the words of the 2nd round, we concede a goal. I don't know if Rose could have done better there. I feel like this is a very FM24 match engine goal. Throw in, taken short, then the cross to the back post won. On this occasion, our lack of aerial ability has cost us again. Reading knocking the ball around the back here. Spencer to Field. Could we force a turnover? Elliott dispossessed by Thorndyke. That's massive. Sellers bit wide here, but can he put it in? He can. Overton's there. Overton scores. It's 3-1. Sellers is not currently on for a man of the match performance. He has been absolutely stupendous. He got the 1st goal for us. He's now got an assist for this one here. To be fair, Overton's done the exact same. I've criticised our strikers for being slow lately. They're playing well now. A very easy team talk there, just praising the players. We are 3-1 up. We look really good. While I've been praising the players, I hope you were down leaving a like on this video. The triple header was completely unscripted. I'm very glad we've done it because we have shown a bit of might about us, dare I say, in this game here against Reading. I am going to change things up a little bit. Hume is struggling. I'm going to bring in Liam Trotter for a little bit of experience. I'm going to play him as a deep line playmaker on defend. We don't need to get quite as adventurous. And at right centre-back, Johnson's not been at his best today. So we'll bring in Quamina, Williams to right centre-back. And now, truthfully, I just want to see this game out. I think I'm even going to change the mentality to cautious, much like we did in the first game against Reading. We are now going to just hold our position a little bit more, not look to wander. If we could get a fourth goal, I don't know what we do. The ball there, whipped in, Button plucks it out the end. Not for the first time he's gotten the end of a cross for us. That's definitely something we can work on. Thorndike flicks it on. If they get the next goal, we're in trouble. If we get the next goal, I really start to believe. Match momentum has been completely in our favour in this game. In some ways, maybe going to cautious is just inviting some pressure onto us. But I just want to try and see out this game and be sensible. Akande trying to keep this play alive for Reading. Loads of players queued up at the edge of the area. We're happy to invite them to go for a speculative long shot as long as they don't get it into the middle. Kwamina, nice header away, but no pressure here on their right back who steps forward, whips it back post. It's headed back into the area. And it's the aerial duels again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in January. In the summer, I need to get some big meaty men. You can see here the match momentum. I changed to cautious. And they've only got on the front foot and ended up scoring. Akande with a backwards header there, no looking it. I'm going to go back to balance. It might be too late. 20 minutes away from a massive upset against, well, League One opposition. They've gone to a 4-2-4. They are now very much going for this game. They're using a Regista and Segundo Volante. I've reverted back to proper Brexit player roles. Do I want to change anything here? I'm going to tell our keeper to slow the play down. We're still distributing it out to our centre-backs. We don't need to look to counter when we win the ball. We just want to hold our shape now and be sensible. No more looking for the underlap. Let's lower the tempo, up the time wasting. I don't mind us actually playing it out from the back just because of how many players we've got in our defence. There's 7 minutes left to hold on. I've tinkered there to try and see out the game. And very often in Football Manager, when you try and shut things down, it goes wrong. There's 4 minutes of added time. Nothing is going wrong. Hold on, lads. This would be massive. It is massive. We beat Reading. Now, yes, they did have some youth players on full show there. Look at the subs they made. They brought on some big guns there. They weren't big enough. It's the biggest result so far in Wanderers' history. And we're into the second round. And most importantly, we get to take on Leyton Orient, which I love. Tell you what else I love. Fylde, who are down... Well, they were near the bottom, actually. They've had a massive recovery lately. They're up in 13th. They've just beaten Sutton 4-1 in Sutton's game in hand. So we're only actually 7 points behind them with the best goal difference in the league. I'll point that out right now. Now, if you were wondering, Jack, when do you take on Leyton Orient literally in 4 days' time? I think we know what the plan is for Monday's episode. We'll do the game against Leyton Orient. If we do well in that game, maybe I'll do the third round. I'm planning too far ahead here. If that doesn't happen, I'll probably just march forward, play a load of Football Manager. Maybe we come back around our youth intake. We've not had the preview just yet, but with our facilities, I'm expecting some good players. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the spontaneous triple header today. If you did, leave a like. Let me know if you have any feedback regarding the series so far. A few episodes in, stuff you're liking about the series, stuff I can maybe do differently, maybe stuff you'd just like me to show in videos. Would love to know your thoughts down below. Besides that, I'm going to leave things there. Have a lovely weekend. It's me, Jack, and I'll see you on Monday for more. I'm out.